News! It is I, your host Jem, and this is WDN, a new show fully dedicated to the up-and-coming and your new favorite diesel punk mech movement shooter, Diesel Knights. This episode covers the days from 21st of May to 4th of June 2026, and I gotta say, past 2 weeks have been busy for the old Xavier Incorporated. And so, starting where we last left off, Xavier has worked out the inventory system, aka what weapons you have on your person. And with it, most of the base weapons are in-game and functional. Most of them shoot, deal damage, reload, and do all the gun things. Although some are still very much work in progress. For my fellow nerds in the audience, I will link in the description the dialogue where Xavier discusses it, but basically he wrote an entire essay about how the projectiles work in Diesel Knights. In other nerdy news, Xavier has also talked extensively about reloading, because basically every weapon reloads differently. Some have the dongle, professional term, stay back after the last bullet is shot, and some other weapons the dongle goes back into the close position, and in others there is no such thing because they are a single shot grenade launcher. And all of these need their own systems and codes. So knowing that it is mostly, if not fully down, is a big thing. Again, for our nerds out there, link is in the description. Another huge news is procedurally generated grass. It may not sound as interesting, but trust me, placing 10,000 individual blades of grass just to realize that the map needs slight remodeling and readjusting, and having to do all of that over again is way slower than investing a day or two into having the grass generate automatically. Speaking of maps, the second new map is mostly done. So much so, in fact, that it may be playable before the wound, which, if you remember the last broadcast, is the new map, the first new map that was announced. Another very important system that has been missing is, of course, the respawn, which Xavier has kindly taken care of. Long story short, the game calculates the best respawn point to spawn you at. A one which hasn't been used recently, that has no enemies nearby, with a bunch of contingencies on top of that. But if all fails, the game can just spawn you randomly. And finally, it has been a long wait. Xavier is painfully aware of it, and he is grateful for all of our patience. But after all this time, of future preparations, of setting up the groundworks for future features, which is a very good habit and a responsible thing to do, by the way. The alpha build is finally in a playable state. So much so that some of the Xavier's in-group were able to play with him. Although, it is not available yet, don't get me wrong. It is very early in development, it is not available for backers yet, but it is a very good sign. After all this time laying the groundwork, when he finally starts working on the game proper, he gets to a playable state in like 2 weeks. It's incredible work. With a game as big as basically Titanfall 3, the amount of progress Xavier was able to make in this short amount of time is just immaculate, honestly. All these sources are basically just the dialogues, whatever you want to read is in the description. And that has been all for the news section. Of course, as always at the end, let me just yap for a bit. If you're only here for the news, then you can go. Now just some organizational things, as always. At the end of WDN, we talk about WDN. For those who expected more sections or animations, it is in progress. It has been in progress, but there were some setbacks. Mainly, I was trying to fix a very particular thing, and in doing so, I broke everything. So I just decided to nuke it all. But very expectantly, reinstalling your operating system does fix everything. Except for the very particular thing I wanted to fix in the first place. So, there are, of course, things like I need to get back into the thick of things after, formatting my entire disk. No art was lost, everything is still here. However, I also started updating the models, which turns out are not compatible with the old animations, so I need to reanimate everything over again. So that's unpleasant. But another thing is that I'm still getting used to it. The life of a semi-employed newly graduate. There's also been a kind of a setback. I hope that maybe after this ban, everything will be sorted out and everything will be perfect. That said, that has been all for this week. Thank you for watching. I have been Jem, this was WDN, and I will see you next Thursday, 8 PM EST.